A very old and yet very common technique and a set of problems captured in unsupervised machine learning is that of network analysis. Network analysis refers to analysis techniques for any problem where you can draw a graph. A graph need not be a tree, it can be a cyclic, it can be acyclic, all kinds of topologies of graphs can exist. So in terms of network analysis, let us look at what are the kinds of domains where problems arise in form of network analysis. The simplest form which appears is very common today is the so-called social networks. The subdomain of social networks where network analysis is applied is called SNA or social network analysis. So in social networks, we have examples like Facebook, where you are connected to your friend. A friend will connect to another friend. He will connect to another friend. He will connect to another friend. He will connect to another friend. So you can form a whole graph of connected to if you are a friend of another one. So a link means how you are a friend of the network. So in this case, your social network analysis becomes a problem of identify the target problem and convert that to corresponding graph theoretic problem for the social graph which you create. If you can imagine the social graph that is created by Facebook, if you have billion users, imagine the strength of it. It's a billion by billion node social graph. So it's a very powerful set of structures. Same thing, for example, in LinkedIn, we have the same thing, right? If you're connected to him, if you're connected to him, if you're connected to another guy, you can form a social graph of Facebook. Or if you're looking at Twitter, even in Twitter, suppose you have a tweet, and suppose you have retweeted another person's tweet. So your user ID may be connected to another user ID, may be another connected because if you have retweeted or if you follow, if you have either followed or if you have retweeted another person's tweet, you can form a network. So there are several kinds of networks which can be formed in the context of social media. But now coming to analysis, what are the kind of analytics which is performed on this kind of a scenario? The analytics can be of different types. For example, you may look at who are the influencers in my network. Influencers are important because they are treated by marketing companies as target for sending ad messages, because if they have a lot of following, then they become easier target. So to either retweet a marketing message or retweet a social message or even spread a message in the Facebook for a particular targeted message. So what happens in influencer identification is you typically try to identify the nodes which are very dense, which have very high degree. So what happens in concept identification corresponding to influencer is, from a graph theoretic perspective, you look at what is known as a network centrality measure. Network centrality measure is a collection of measures in a graph which give an idea of how central a particular node is. The centrality measures can basically vary depending upon what is your point of interest. The target of finding influencers can be using any of the centrality measures. So some of the very popular centrality measures people use in context of social network analysis is things like degree. Degree means how many people are connected to this particular user. The more the degree, the more the influencing capacity he has. Or you can look at measured in terms of betweenness, means how much between it is other nodes, in the sense that if it is a really wire media for several friends to be connected to each other, that becomes an important characteristic. A byproduct of this, for example, in LinkedIn, I can think of a use case where you want a referral to a second level connection through a common friend, maybe for a job, but you would like to see who is the more influencer common friend who can influence, because it can be referred by what is the density of number of connections in this case. So you can see that there are several measures of centrality which can be used for tackling several network analysis problems in social media context. So this is just one glimpse of a set of problems which can be done in social network analysis. But is that all? There are several examples of extending network analysis to other domains. For example, if you want to look at the World Wide Web itself, one big use case is where Google uses PageRank in terms of how many pages are connected to your page in order for you to determine how important it is to consider as an important page or not. That's a very important measure. Similarly, in context of text documents, you can talk about how many documents are referencing your document, or in context of, say, a scientific word. Citation networks is a very important metric. Citation network is basically how many authors have referred to your work, or how many people have referred to your work, and you can form a whole network of, suppose this is your paper, there is another paper, they have referred here, suppose there is another paper which is referred here, this becomes a third paper which is referred here. So what happens is, you can form a whole citation network of papers and find out which is influential papers in terms of causing major contribution to the realm of science. Similarly, there are a lot of areas in, for example, genome sequencing or in biology, etc., where you can actually form networks and use connectors to find out which are the connecting genes between different genome networks, or in DNA sequencing. So there is a huge number of possibilities where we can use the concept of network analysis and use it to generate a corresponding analytic problem to be solved. It's unsurprised because you don't have specific labeling of any kind. In fact, this is so popular that there is a whole bunch of tools now available. For example, NodeXL is a very popular library which uses concept of creating networks and using it for analyzing and drawing different graphs. So if there are a lot of NodeXL based gallery available, if you can search on NodeXL gallery, you can get a lot of examples of network analysis done on different kinds of data, right from things related to warfare, related to tweets, related to biological analysis, related to citations, etc., etc.